Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another MXGP 3 Career Mode video here on the channel. Jumping back in right where I left off, sticking to the trusty KTM 125, and going into Matterley Basin, Great Britain. This is the site where the 2017 Motocross Donations will happen, although I believe that the track will actually be a little bit different than the one that you will obviously see right here. So I'll try to remember if I can point out any nuances that will be different of the track direction and which way it's going, but it's going to be roughly the same. I think the start's going to be the same first couple corners, but then once it gets kind of the back section, kind of where on the track map you can see that little lower left-hand corner of the track map where it gets all wild and crazy. I saw someone had drawn a map that looks like it's going to go a little bit further out and then kind of do some switchbacks to bring it back. So should be interesting. And it is a rain race. Haven't had a whole lot of these in my times playing this. I've maybe done two like full-blown rain races, but it's all good. I've got my trusty KTM 125 with handguards on it, so I think I'll be okay. Even though I just got the absolute worst start. It's alright, we'll try to make it work. I have not played this game in a little while, so I'm a tad rusty. But I think I can make it work. Still leading the World Championship, obviously. Red plates denote that, and I've got red plates on the front of my bike. Don't know if I can show that off. I forget how to look back. I will figure it out. I'm trying to press a bunch of different buttons at once, so it's not really working. You know what? I'm going to do this video. I haven't played in first person hardly at all. And just to change it up in this video a little bit, I'm going to play in first person. I've had several people tell me that this game is very realistic looking in first person. So far, it looks pretty sweet. I almost just, oh man, that bike is just buried in there. Wow, this is actually really cool. I'm looking at the handlebars while playing this in first person, and if you notice, I'm not using the clutch. It's like auto clutching. I wonder if they're gonna start making games where you actually have to do this, but when I shift up or down, you'll notice that the clutch lever is just slightly being used. And then my front brake is being used when I'm actually using it. That's kind of cool. Like, look in the air right here. You can see me, 2 fingers, reach forward, grab it. Kind of focusing a lot on that whole aspect and less on the actual riding part. That's what a scrub looks like in first person, just so you know. I'm getting whooped on right now. Okay, I'm passing Dylan Ferrandis, who just had a fantastic first season in the States. Oh, he's getting me back. That is the team he rode for last year in the MXGP series, which is the factory Kawasaki team in Europe. I'm just getting my tail feathers whooped here as Bogers goes over the bars there. Looked like I kind of ran him over, but I couldn't quite tell. Oh man, I thought I was going down. The bars just like suddenly turned left. I was getting taken out from behind just like I did in MXGP 2 all too often. Alright, back into 11th, trying to salvage some points from this one. Getting down the inside of these guys. Ugh, man, just running out of momentum halfway up that jump there. Get out of the way, Jeremy Seawer. I'm going to the edge of the track. Just cuts back underneath. This is really fun in first person. I wish I would have tried this sooner. Oh, turn. Oh, man. Man, that uphill triple's a biggie. That time I just muscled him out of the way. I don't know how to look back. Oh, I can look left or right. Just slightly. That's it, though. One thing I do wish that you could do in this game that so far I've only ever seen MX Bikes be able to do it, and maybe Silkly and Honda Motocross GP when I used to play that game, I think you could. But it's raining, I'm on a mud track, I'm not in first place, so I should be getting plastered with mud, and the bike obviously is getting pasted. I'd like to be able to rip some tear-offs. Like, obviously the screen isn't getting messed up at all, which I quite frankly think it should, but that's a big aspect of motocross, like any racing discipline in motocross, supercross, motocross, enduros, whatever. People load up the tear-offs on the goggles and they get fogged up or messed up or whatever, and you can rip through them tear-offs. You can also install roll-offs, which are a little pulley system that swipes a little film across your goggle lens so that it like kind of clears all the gook out of the way. But like, I think it'd just be cool to be like, you know, obviously it's nice that they're starting to do the little hand movements where like, you know, the front brake, it touches that, and when I shift, it uses the clutch. I'm gonna look in the second moto when I use the clutch on the start if you can actually see me use and drop the clutch and all that stuff like that. But I mean, come on, why not? Tear-offs have got to be coming soon, some sort of game sometime soon. And yeah, all right, so not too bad. Crawled back up to 6th after going down early on in this one, and I'm just backwards. I'm not bringing that. Yep, that's a interesting crash. So Hurling, Dancy, Van Donnick, Jonas, Tonkov, and myself. Cool beans. 15 points to take away from that one. And yep, rain ability going up a little bit. Actually, a lot of it went up 2 points there, 53. The other ones are on 63. So I'm getting a little bit better accolades with the game. And I remember reading that supposedly the higher your skill sets are in the game, the easier it is to control the bike and different aspects of that. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Shift in the second. Doesn't look, well, I guess my fingers are on the clutch. Yep, it was on the clutch. Oh, almost looped out. It's okay. I wanted to get to the far inside anyway. Man, it is like dusty in the middle of the pack, and it's raining out. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, rider down. Jeez, this is complete chaos in the middle of the pack here. Jeffrey Hurlings has some red on him. He must be my rival. Interesting. I'm gonna take him out. Oh, block pass. Get wrecked, Hurlings. Oh, I took him all the way to the barriers. Oh, he's still side by side with me. Yeah, this is a sick battle. Oh man, there's people everywhere. Oh man. I somehow passed like 4 guys in a corner without meaning to. That was a sick battle though. That was really cool. Oh, I'm getting dragged. This whole first-person stuff is fun. It makes the experience like exciting, interesting. There's not many motocross video games that work well in first person, but I would say that this one does. I don't know why it took me so long to play it in first person, but definitely works pretty cool. I think I just got landed on. I saw a Kawasaki front fender, so that would suggest to me that there's a Kawasaki rider behind me that tried to jump past me. Man, my 125 is a fantastic machine in a straight line. Cannot quite clear that double, and then kind of shortcut the track here. Oh, man, I just went down. Go. Well, Hurlings is still behind me, so good on that one. I still don't know how to look back, but there are several riders in front of me here. This is a really fun battle going on. I like this difficulty level on the 125. Makes the racing a lot more interesting, a lot more exciting. It's been, like I said, a little bit since I played this game, so I feel like because of that, I'm not able to really figure this game out just as much as I used to. Oh, scrubbing into the middle of these guys. I would have gone down so many times in real life by this point. Man, the winner, or the leader I should say, is checking out. No idea who it is, but they are gone. I'm trying to get up onto the podium in this moto if I can. Sometimes it's just fun to sit back, actually kind of enjoy the game. I really do like conversing with you fine folks watching this video, chit-chatting and whatnot. But man, sometimes just raw gameplay, especially nowadays, like I know that I'm not from the days when like we were playing Asteroids and freaking Tetris and stuff like that, or Pong, or even as far back as playing like Super Mario and stuff like that, but I grew up on games like Crash Bandicoot and gosh, what else? Spyro the Dragon. I played a crap ton of that when I was a kid. But then like motocross wise, Motocross Madness, Supercross 98 featuring Jeremy McGrath, and obviously like Supercross 2000, all those. Like I played every freaking motocross game I possibly could when I was younger. I really want to do what I really want to do, and I'll tell you what I want. What I really want is to play a MX Rider the game career mode series or whatever, because that game was fun. It had a really good career mode, I thought. Like you could, it's kind of similar to the GP game now, where like you could ride for factory teams, you had to earn reputation. They had GP tracks even back then. Like it was a good game, and I think it came out in 2003 or so. I thought it was a really fun game. But just in general, like playing these games now, like golly, this game looks good. Oh, made that pass. See if I can hold it to the line. Did I get him? Oh, I think I just got him. Who was that? That was battling Anstey? 99, I think. It's either Anstey or Covington, but I couldn't quite tell. Yep, Anstey. So Jonas, Patrell, Tonkov, myself. Let's see where I ended up overall. 5th. And only lost 10 points to Jonas. And I don't know, world championship-wise, I'm really far ahead of Patrell, which is weird that Hurlings isn't ahead of him. So I lost some reputation, gained some reputation. You win some, you lose some. In the end, that's all that really matters. Rain ability went up. So a 5th overall, Madely Bazin. Not terrible, but not great either. So we're just going to go ahead and continue on over to Mantova. And I believe I also saw rain in the forecast on this one. I just played this track in the game for the first time recently. I forget why. I really don't remember why, but I remember playing it, and of course it is raining again. So I have a little bit of experience playing this. I'll just come out and say that it's not like I'm looking at this track the first time ever completely raw. But we'll see how she goes. Oh, I was trying to jump the gate. Wow, I got honestly like a pretty good start. That was very strange. And I come out second after a few corners, use the outside line to my advantage. This might be kind of an easier race than Madely Bazin was. So Mantova in Italy. Don't remember if it was on the GP schedule this year or not, but last year, fantastic battle between Cairoli and the eventual world champion Tim Geiser at this race. Chad Reed raced this race last year in the GPs, and I believe went 16 DNF or something like that. Didn't have a good weekend. It's an interesting track. It's kind of like a sandy base-ish track. I'd resemble the dirt somewhat to a Millville. Like it's got a sand, like a sand top, and then it's a little hard underneath. But as you can tell, it's obviously a very flat racetrack. But right now, I'm just cruising away at the front. These corners that they have, these like bankings that they have in the corners, are really fun to just lay it over and rip around. bottom of these hills, just come in, click down to third, wide open around the outside. Fun stuff indeed. Alright, I am killing it right now, Mantova. It's interesting because this game, or this track, I should say, I've always known it as Mantova, and this game, I think, even called it Mantova this time around, but for some reason, I think in MXGP2, the game, it was referred to as Mantua, which is like M-A-N-T-U-A instead of M-A-N-T-O-V-A. I don't know if there's some sort of distinction there that I'm missing, or if it's actually Mantua and just the like Englishized version, Anglo-Saxon version, or whatever you want to call it, is Mantova. But I mean, maybe some GP fans or just Italian fans in general could chime in and let me know if I'm just completely off base with that presumption or whatnot. Whoa, interesting. So it's a whole first-person episode, and quite honestly, I think it's pretty fun. I think this is an interesting experience out of this game. I was looking to kind of spice things up a little bit. My goal is to get onto a new team at some point in the next game, or whatever you want to call it. So, doing a little bit of funsies right now. Next episode, I want to try to get on a team is what I was trying to go for there. Because obviously it's not going to be in this episode. We do 2 GPs and move on. So if you go inside here, there's like a janky little roller down the inside. Or in my experience playing this track, it sucks to take the inside there. Just scrubbing down these tables. This is a pretty fun track in this game in the rain, I think. Like, it flows really well. It's pretty wide in some of the corners that are tighter, so you can kind of go inside to outside and not have to kill all your momentum like this one, for example. Just kind of swing out to the bank. I think it's pretty fun. Again, just sitting back and enjoying it, I feel like. I'm blown away by how good this game looks. I honestly feel like MXGP2 looks like it's a different look, but it still looks really freaking good. But just like the sheen of all the colors and like you don't get this type of quality in most other, or if any other, motocross video games. Like this just looks really, really good, I feel like. And obviously the gameplay has to match the quality of the visuals, and I think that while there are some things that are a little off base about this game, it's in general a pretty good game. Like I've mentioned it a few times before on some of these videos that I think that it's a slow step, but a step in the right direction. Like they're working on some things, and really there's some news coming sooner or later about some of this stuff. I feel like I should be able to start talking about it because I know a little bit more about it. But like this past week, while at Indiana, I heard that a couple media companies got the opportunity to play what is supposed to be a new MXGP TV game, and then a new game from Milestone that has, I don't know if it has anything to do with MXGP or Supercross or something, but I know it's supposed to be something different from this, from what I understand. I'm not 100% convinced that's true, but it does sound like on some level a new MXGP TV game is coming here, at least maybe for the new season. And there's a lot of speculation about what that means, what that is. You can go back to some of the AMA riders being pulled aside last year for some 3D scanning, because it sounds like they're going to be in the game. So that's kind of cool. Oh, thought I had the whole shot. Wow, I just completely took down Calvin Valandrin. But anyway, just about that new possible MXGP TV game, it sounds like it's gonna have something to do with Supercross. Like I said, I know a little bit more, but I just don't want to talk too much on it because I just don't want to give away too many secrets. And obviously, MXGP TV has a really good relationship now with Feld Entertainment, Feld Motorsports, as they've been a really good sponsor for them this past year in Supercross. They've done the replica tracks in MXGP TV Supercross Encore this past year, and then they did on those replica tracks they did virtual laps that they used on the broadcast. And then although they didn't actually use the MXGP TV Supercross Encore video game, they had a sponsored deal where the MXGP TV franchise was the sponsor of the little like green arrow lap in the outdoors. So I feel like they're working on trying to make some deals with Feld and the AMA and MX Sports perhaps on putting together games that have replica stuff in it. That part I don't know anything about, so I'm just completely throwing out random things that I think could happen. It sounds pretty promising that this new game that they're going to come out with, though, potentially, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it sounds like it's going to have something to do with Supercross. I don't know if it's going to be called Supercross the Game or something like that, but I've heard rumors of that being a possibility. So we'll see. I'm excited to hear more news about it. There's supposed to be a beta test in the game. Sometime next week, people are getting invited out for it. I am not getting invited out for it, but I'm also not really looking to get invited out for it. You know, if they want to invite me, that's great, but I'm also not going to be sad if they don't. And we'll know more news soon, I believe. Either way. Exciting times for motocross video games. We've got the MXGP series. We've got a potentially new MXGP TV series. MX Simulator finally has Online to Road, which we're going to do a video in that soon, I promise. And then there's also MX Bikes, which, again, more videos coming in that soon, I promise. And that new potential game coming out by LCQ Studios called Motocross Chasing the Dream, I believe it is. And looks like they've got through some early beta tests, or I guess what they were calling alpha tests, of actually getting the bike in-game. We'll have some updates on that soon. So it's good, it's promising. There's multiple games, multiple developers making titles, which is obviously what we want to see. Like, even Formula 1 doesn't really have that. Like, yes, they have their things being featured in different games, and they have F1 the game, like F1 2017 we've been doing. And like Formula 1 cars are in iRacing, for example. I think they're also in Forza and stuff like that. But just a straight up Formula 1 game, like spread across different genres and stuff like that. There's only one F1 the game title, so it's cool to see that there's more and more motocross games sprawling about. And it's just kind of piggybacking off of what I've talked about with this game in particular, in that like you can see that Milestone is listening to some feedback. They're trying to make steps in the right direction. They did things like make whips actually controllable instead of just like a standard you press a button and it whips. Obviously visually they did a lot of work with updating to the Unreal 4 graphic engine, and I'm sure that they're going to listen to a lot of feedback on the physics of the game and try to take that into consideration. But I just think that this game is a good solid package and more stuff to build off of. Yes, does the bike feel like it's floating on the ground a little bit? Sure. Do the ruts not dig in perfectly? Yeah, I can understand that. You can make a little bit too much contact with riders, but every game has its fault. As I've said that over and over again. There is no such thing as the perfect game, because if there was, we'd all be playing that, and that franchise, whatever it is, would not need to update it. Like, the closest thing to it right now, quite honestly, is the Grand Theft Auto series, because that game came out in 2013. It's 4 years later, and they have no talk of updating to a new Grand Theft Auto. You know, they're working on a new Red Dead Redemption before they're going to do another Grand Theft Auto. So, like I said, the perfect game does not exist. There's not going to be a perfect motocross game probably ever, but there's going to be a lot of things to improve on from these games, and that's what I'm excited about. So hopefully you guys share the same viewpoints. If you don't, you know, I mean, I hope that at some point you will realize that these games are moving forward and progressing, and It's just going to take time with any game. But yeah, that's my spiel on that. That's my spiel on the upcoming potential MXGP series game. But this is another career mode video in MXGP3 the game. I hope you guys liked the video. I mean, if you didn't, I'm sorry. That's on you though. You're not required to like it or subscribe or anything like that. But if you do, that's awesome. That's freaking sweet because it helps me out a ton and obviously makes my channel and our channel in general look fan-flippin-tastic. But I thank you guys for watching another career mode gameplay here on Start Your Systems, and I will hope to see you guys in our future videos. So long for now.